As a faithful carrier, Gerald Groff knows every mailbox on every farm road in every direction. He knows every house, every barn, every covered bridge, all over this lovely part of Pennsylvania.
A lot of the routes I had were 40 to 50 miles long, where you go out there and you put your window down for 4 hours in whatever weather you have, from mailbox to mailbox, 500 to 700 mailboxes a day.
Gerald's faith is central to his life. He's even devoted years to sharing the gospel far away from his home.
I really do feel a calling to overseas missions, so I've been to Africa 3 times, to Asia more than once.
Back home, he specifically took the job at the local post office because it's vital to him to honor the Lord's Day.
For me, it's not about just going to church. It's about obeying the Lord and putting the entire day aside to honor and glorify Him.
And that worked well until the post office began doing Sunday deliveries.
I told my boss right away that I wouldn't be able to do that, but I was willing to take other shifts or, even do an extra route when I would come back from my original one.
But eventually that was not enough for his boss.
My boss was intimidating. He's a large fellow, and we work in cases that have 3 sides, and he would, corner me in there and kind of aggressively asked me if I was going to work this Sunday or not, because he was required to ask that question of me to document it. He had cornered me out of my car as I was loading outside the post office, and he basically said, "The post office is thinking of making an example of you." And so I lived from that point on, in fear that today could be the day that I come to work and they drop the bomb on me that I could be fired. So I really lived that way for 2.5 years.
Again and again, his boss sent him to this central hub in Lancaster.
So I was called in for about 8 pre-disciplinary interviews, which resulted in formal discipline that started with a letter of warning, then a 7-day suspension, a 14-day suspension. The last step that was left was termination, and I really felt that having a federal level termination in my employment record would be a real ding against any future career.
Gerald is one of the best clients that I've ever had. He's a genuine, humble person, and all he wants is probably what every other American wants, the ability to just be who he is.
Randy Wanger is chief counsel at the Independence Law Center. He says what the post office did to Gerald is wrong.
And all that's being asked here is for an appropriate balance to be put into place where we accommodate employees except when it's going to cause an undue hardship for employers.
It's been a long road with many stops along the way, but the end of that road is at the U.S. Supreme Court.
I really just hope that we win and that the Supreme Court reinforces the law in the sense that it would protect people who are in my position or similar positions, that they would be able to maintain their personal convictions in this country while not living in fear of losing their job every day when they go to work.